parents of girls with OnlyFans. How did you find out what they do, and what was your reaction? Story 1. A cousin of mine did it, and when her dad found out, he wasn't mad given it paid for her rent. However, he was very upset when he found out she was also working the pole at a strip club a few days a month. Her only response was, "How did he think I paid for the trips I go on?" Story 2. My daughter accidentally sent the wrong video to the group chat. I'm a bit disappointed, but I thought she was selling drugs or something terrible because she always had money but no job. I hope it doesn't have any long-term consequences for any future career she might want, but at least she is making money and no longer mooching off of me, so that's a plus. I don't get it, as if I'm not going to be suspicious about my kid's new clothes and computer or whatever else not. Story 3. Not the parent, and I don't currently have OnlyFans anymore. But my dad found out because I went to show him something else on my phone, and he started swiping through my phone after. Lesson learned for both of us, lol. I hold the phone and he doesn't touch my phone if I show him anything, and I religiously sort all photos into albums so people can only see exactly what I want them to see. He wasn't stoked, but it didn't change our relationship at all, and we mostly don't talk about it. Story 4. My now 24-year-old daughter decided to get married at 18 and be a stripper. She was very blatant about it and said she liked the money and attention. We live in a small Ohio city where people frequent gentlemen's clubs and talk about everyone's business, so there was no hiding it. We found out about her OnlyFans and other services because she has teenage brothers and parents of friends that frequent those sites and found out. Her brothers have been devastated by the embarrassment of it. While I try to love and support her, it has been from a distance because socially it's been a very humiliating thing to know that half our county has seen or received services from my daughter, including my husband's uncle, who didn't know who she was at the time. I have a hard time looking at men in a good light with this experience and situation of hers. I cried, blamed myself, I tried to encourage college, I got angry, now I'm just checked out about it. She's willing to put herself out there for an easy lifestyle, and I can't change that. Story 5. Am a cam girl. Told my parents when I started back at it actively, because I figured I'd get ahead of the "I'll tell everyone you love what you do." Mom basically went, "Oh, should I go get pearls to clutch?" It definitely bothers her sometimes, but I've normalized it a lot by doing things like how stupid writing horny copy is. Seriously, it can be the dumbest shit. And we talk a lot about the photography side. Hello, she's a professional artist and is designing me a logo, sort of thing. Dad basically pretends the convo didn't happen. He largely doesn't care, but it made him uncomfortable, and he has bigger fish to fry. Story 6. We have made custom fetish videos since 2008, husband and wife. Told parents a long time ago. Dad and mom are totally fine with it, mine. They just can't believe what people will pay for and want to see. Wife's dad wasn't thrilled, obviously, but he's now okay as long as we don't give him too many details. At this point, we aren't in many videos anymore, but we still produce dozens a month. My grandpa was completely confused when I told him. He was stuttering and like, "Wait, what?" I ended up showing him some pictures and he said, "Jesus Christ, I thought you were the good one." I was like, "Grandpa, there's a picture on the wall of you in your Navy career holding a Playboy magazine right there." His response, "That's normal." I had to tell him because he was always asking how work was, and I just don't like lying to anyone. When my son found out, not my wife's biological son, that was awkward and not good at the time. He was 15 and said some really demeaning things about my wife, and we had a talk, let's just put it that way. Edit. I didn't beat my kid if that's what we're thinking here. It was just a very loud talk/argument that wasn't handled well. He's fine now. He's 26. We talk about it occasionally, about some of the weirder content I'm producing. Story 7. Kid in that situation here. I actually told my parents, mostly because it is a really active part of my life and I know nothing on the internet is secret forever. I didn't want it to be a surprise if it ever came up one day. They aren't super happy with it, but it has helped a little with some medical expenses, and it is hard to argue with that if you won't help me yourself. I don't exactly break the bank like those articles you read online. Most OnlyFans girls just aren't that lucky, but at least I don't have any secrets. Story 8. I'm 32F, and I had a conversation with my dad recently about OnlyFans. He said if he was female, he wouldn't hesitate to find the right niche and sell his ass. citing some news story he read about a woman who sold her used bathwater for thousands and took a luxury holiday with her boyfriend. I said it seems like it could be easy money if you found your audience, and the main thing putting me off was the idea of actually conversing with people. I got the sense that he would certainly not be ashamed or embarrassed if I decided to make money that way. He's always been one for empowering his daughters. Story 9. I still can't believe the amount of money that passes through that website. Do people not know there's an endless supply of boobs already on the internet? At what dollar amount of paying for new boobs to look at does the realization hit most that they're actively losing at life, literally selling bottles of water to the drowning? Story 10. My sister one night, after a few too many drinks, brought up that she was hustling hard and making money off OnlyFans during a family get-together. This was after my dad nagging her about still not having a job over a year past completing her business degree at an Ivy League school where he paid her tuition in full. She was bragging about making $1,500 a month for barely lifting a finger, not realizing she is basically making less than minimum wage, and considering her stupid spending habits, she has zero saving from it anyway, I'm sure. He was just supremely disappointed. He told her he was embarrassed and ashamed, not because she was revealing herself to creeps online, but because he felt like a failure that he raised someone so lazy and entitled. She is genuinely an intelligent person, and she always thrived in school, so she is certainly capable of doing good work. But the friends she picked up in university have definitely negatively influenced her, as they are some of the most undeservingly entitled people I have ever had the displeasure of meeting in my life. One time, I was visiting her at her place, and her friend/roommate came back from a date and started bitching about how the guy wouldn't buy a bottle of crystal champagne for her to drink because he was too cheap on the first date. Story 11. A few of my friends have OnlyFans accounts, and they've experienced a wide variety of reactions. Some parents were understandably concerned, others angry and horrified. Some were indifferent and shrugged their shoulders, justifying it with, well, at least she's earning some money and not starving. Wouldn't say any of the parents were supportive, but the one big thing is that they were all relieved their kid didn't have to travel to potentially dangerous places to service clients. One girl is a teacher, and after about 6 months of teaching, a Snoopy student stumbled upon her OnlyFans account. Even though her face isn't shown in any of the pics or vids, all lingerie and strip-teasing, she has a very distinct and visible tattoo that instantly identified her. School admin naturally voiced their concerns and strongly encouraged her, for the sake of her reputation and the school's, since they were getting angry phone calls from parents, to deactivate the account. But by then, the damage was already done to her career. Story 12. My daughter was always brought up with the understanding that sex work is work. We've always encouraged her to be happy, healthy, and safe. She was pretty upfront with us about setting up her account, and able to share achievements with us like reaching top 2%. We've always been supportive, helped her with taxes, etc. It's a job that pays a hell of a lot better than most of what's out there. We'll support her as long as it continues to keep her happy, healthy, and safe. Story 13. My sister has had an OnlyFans for about a year now. She lucked out enormously. She's really successful and brings in more than enough money to make it worth it for her. Our mother knew from day one. Sister in question called her as soon as she set one up, and I believe she downplayed the kind of content she would be posting. I asked my mother to share her thoughts. You know, I'm not allowing myself to really think about it, accept or feel any way about it. I don't want to know about the content. I'm in denial. Sister has told me that there's really nothing lewd on there, and I choose to believe her rather than investigate. Do I actually believe her? Probably not. It is not, and has not ever been a secret. I think she's posted about it on all her personal social media. Family all knows, family friends know. It's honestly just so bizarre and surreal. Occasionally, our mom will just tell people about it when they ask in conversation what my sister does for a living. I just like to tell people she's a successful influencer, which is also true. Story 14. My best friend's fiance's cousin is a famous OnlyFans creator. Famous to the level where she has an Instagram account with a couple 100,000 followers. I have not met her yet, but I'm looking forward to meeting her at the wedding next summer. As you can probably guess, she has mad daddy issues and he is not present in her life. Her mom, on the other hand, knows and is extremely supportive. Apparently, she supports her entire immediate family and even bought her mom a house. Story 15. I'm close friends with a family and have known the girl since she was a toddler. She is 20 now, and it's highly preferable to other forms of sex work in her opinion. They joke about the, "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?" because she works from home, has the top floor of the house, bedroom, bathroom, and a room for her cam work. They know she's safe and respect her autonomy. They refuse to charge her rent. They are adamant that as her parents, they will never do that. But she really enjoys being able to treat them, handle emergencies like car repair, help out with bills, groceries, pet care, etc. I wouldn't be surprised if she has enough for a down payment on a house soon. They're proud of her independence. I know there are horror stories about families finding out and disowning people, but they're a very stable, loving family, which is nice to hear. Story 16. I maxed out my credit card buying clothes for her to try on every day. It paid off. This tripled her viewers. I quit my job and work full-time for her as producer, writer, and security when she goes outside. Along with 2 ex-cons I hired to work in shifts. Who would have thought we would be this successful and rich, working out of an old trailer? We will soon be buying a house in the good part of town, which will have a custom-built filming room for her, along with separate walk-in closets for her naughty wear, heels, and cosplay gear and toys. I am so proud of my little girl. Sarcasm. Story 17. My sister was going to start her own platform. She needed someone to film and take photos. She actually asked my mother and myself. My mom was hesitant but willing. I wanted a photographer's percentage. Story 18. I don't know if OnlyFans sends tax documents, but my sister had hers from some videos she was in sent to my dad's address by mistake. He is a dumb Alabama man, so 2 years later he still can't deal. Told the whole family, stop supporting her financially. She is paying her own way through college now, and I'm proud of her. Story 19. I have a friend that's moderately successful, not rich, but makes comfortable money and is financially stable. Dad found out and was angry and disappointed. He's not nearly as angry or disappointed anymore now that he drives a new Cadillac CTS. Her mom doesn't like it but chooses to ignore it, only saying, "My daughter is successful." Story 20. My daughter shot some content with me without my knowledge. I thought she was doing the daughterly thing, but later realized she was doing it for the money when I found myself on a leak website. I thought I raised her better than that. Story 21. She had to tell me. I do her taxes. I'm completely fine with it. She assures me that she's being safe when it comes to meeting with others in the industry to make content. If she's happy, I'm happy. Story 22. I told my parents myself, and you know what they told me? Thank God you're not an alcoholic. But they don't know what I drink before filming Lamau. Story 23. My former boss's daughter did OnlyFans. Once it was known at work, he was open about it and even shared the link of her Instagram. There was even a rumor that one of the guys we work with was one of the guys she used in a video. I guess he wasn't happy, but since it was out in the open, he must have been, fuck it, at least she'll make money. Story 24. I had a Fansly at one point. Not anymore. It was mild, just like lingerie pics. I make feet content. My mom said, "Since you already have a foot in the game, pun intended, I might as well go all the way and make less mild content." My dad said, "I should get 10% since my balls contributed to you." And also, "I do need a new fishing pole in case you ever wanted to buy me one." My parents are built different, lol. Story 25. I was catching up with a cousin when he told me he just found out his daughter had an OnlyFans and was working at a strip club. He was very upset because he said it ruined strip clubs for him, and he couldn't look at the girls the same way and would never enjoy them again. Otherwise, he didn't really care. I think this is really what the issue is for men. It's all fine and dandy when it's someone else's daughter they're sexualizing, but as soon as they find out their own daughter is being sexualized by other men like him, then it's a problem. Story 26. Don't have an OnlyFans, but I am an online sex worker and erotic hypnotist. My parents know because I told them. My dad's reaction was slight discomfort, but he's chill with it. My mom's reaction was, "You can't do that, you don't know how," which was odd. Now she just doesn't want to hear anything about it, understandably. Story 27. I have a neighbor, like I can see their house from my porch, neighbor, who have a daughter who started at 18 at CB and MFC. She's now 21, and I see them fight and yell. She's very popular, great show, lot of money, but she's always seemed a bit off. I think she might have something undiagnosed for sure. Her Twitter account is a wild ride. She would tweet how parents complained she was too loud last night or whatever. She was an alcoholic, depressed a lot, sounds unhinged a lot. She would quit so many times and came back under a different name. Now she only does OnlyFans. Sometimes I see her getting out of the car with a parent driving, like right in the middle of the road, upset about something, crying, and then just walking back home. Her household must be intense. Parents don't say hello anymore, keep to themselves most of the time. They look 80 years old. It's a mess, but on the outside, unless you look closely, it's just another suburban house. Don't wish that to anyone. And if anyone tells you, oh, it's all good, they are lying to you and themselves. It's a hell. Story 28. Sister-in-law did and does it now. She's 19 and gorgeous and was basically left out in the country with nothing but an internet connection. Boyfriend half the country away and all that kind of disconnect from a reasonable local life. Med issue has kept her from driving. That and nothing within 30 plus miles worth driving to. She was the youngest and always babied and spoiled, so she lacks any personal success drive, I've noticed. Combined with the health, and she'd probably have a real hard time grinding out the 9 to 5 anyway. Her folks went ballistic when it all came out in the spring. For whatever reason, they ended up thumbing through her phone pics and quickly realized she was doing more than sexting with a boyfriend. Eventually, they confiscated the laptop. We bought her, so it won't be used for this. That was fairly graphic, I heard. That actually did lock her out of the accounts for a bit and deny her source of small, unambitious girl, remember, income. Eventually, she re-upped a Chromebook and phone account of her own and started working the cam again. Had fools sending her shit and all that, which was my biggest issue. No doxing discipline. You don't give out the addy. Get a PO at the least. Story 29. My sister-in-law is very open about her OnlyFans. It's not her only job, but it brings in a solid amount of money on the side. Her relationship with my brother has been both open and poly, casual sex on the side, and they share a girlfriend, since well before they got married. So most people don't really raise eyebrows at her also doing a form of sex work. She just doesn't share the username with family, of course. Sometimes she shares some pretty funny stories about her clients, though. My mom occasionally gets a little weirded out by it, but usually admit it's fine when I ask her what the actual problem is. Her mom, on the other hand, hates it. Their relationship was already strained at best anyway. At this point, sister-in-law sort of revels in being the family disappointment, though. When her mom was giving my sister-in-law's brother shit for not having his life together, he was no worse than the average young adult if I recall correctly, sister-in-law told her brother about the OnlyFans stuff so that he knew he would never be the kid whose life choices their mom hated the most, lol. Basically gave him permission to use that in arguments too. Like, hey, at least I'm not doing porn. Story 30. A mom here. Kind of broke my heart that she chose this way to make some extra money. I found out when she got the W-2 form and looked the name up. She says it's normal and common, not the way I was raised, but I just told her I want to make sure she's safe and treating herself with respect. Haven't even tried to find her posts. Wouldn't even know how to or do it if I did know. She also worked full-time at a daycare, so did this on the side. Just hope it doesn't affect her negatively, emotionally, professionally, etc.